All right, folks, let's finish up section 2.3 here. Here we have a piecewise function with an accompanying graph. And what we want to answer is the question of where are the points of discontinuity? So we want to find each point, tell which of those discontinuities are removable and which are not removable. So remember, a removable discontinuity would be a hole. It would be basically a discontinuity where the limit will still exist. Okay, so if a discontinuity has a limit still existing, then it's removable. It's not removable if it's discontinuous and the limit doesn't exist. So here we go. Now, I'm going to try to do it algebraically for you and then show you how it looks graphically. We can see that we have a linear equation with a slope of 2 between -4 and 0. Oh man, there's a mistake again. What the heck is wrong with me? This is terrible. This is, oh, I see what I did. This is two different problems. Yikes. That's right. So I wanted you to do one of them algebraically and one of them graphically. Whew. Okay, I thought I really goofed up there. Okay, so here we go. This is a line. A line is going to be continuous everywhere. This is a horizontal line. That will be continuous everywhere. This is a parabola. That will be continuous everywhere. So how are there going to be discontinuities? Well, wherever the line meets the horizontal line meets the parabola. So where does that happen? Well, they're broken up at 0, and that is the only possible place where there could be a discontinuity. So let's see if that is in fact a discontinuity or not. So I'm going to take the limit. I want to see if the limit exists of this function as x approaches 0. And shame on me, I will yell at you for this all year. You should title your function. So let's call it f of x, right? Well, in order for this limit to exist, the limit must exist, be the same from both sides of 0. So the limit as x approaches 0 on the left, I would use 2x plus 7 because that's the function that's being graphed to the left of 0. So substituting 0, I get 7. Now, to find the limit of the function as x approaches 0 from the right, I use x squared plus 9. Why, you ask? Because that's the function that's graphed to the right of 0. So if I put 0 in there, I get 9. Well, clearly those are not the same, so this limit does not exist, and therefore this function is not discontinuous at 0. So f of x is not discontinuous at 0, and I know that that is a excuse me, yikes, a non-removable discontinuity. The reason I know it's non-removable is because the limit doesn't exist. When the limit doesn't exist, it's a non-removable discontinuity. Okay? If I were to graph this, you would see a line with a slope of 2 coming up to the point 0.7, which is not included. Then you'd see a point up at 0.9, as is the second part. And then you'd see a parabola that starts at 0.9 also, and then goes on its merry way as a parabola up. Notice there's a jump. If the limit from the left and the limit from the right aren't equal, you're going to get a jump. So it's a jump discontinuity. It's non-removable. Okay? Now, looking at this one with the graph here, we got a line, a semicircle, and then looks like an upside down square root function here. Okay? And don't forget this little point there. Now, I see two places where I would have to lift my pencil here. As I graph, I would have to lift my pencil at -1, jump up here, then I would graph this. I'd have to lift my pencil to get over this. I colored it in like a dork. I would have to jump over this little hole, off of this hole, go down to make this point, and then come back. So I'd have to lift my pencil at -1 and 1. So this function is discontinuous at x equals -1 and +1. Now -1, there's a jump. Notice the limit will not exist. The limit as I approach -1 from the left will be -1. The limit as I approach -1 from the right will be 0. There's a jump there. So -1 is a non-removable discontinuity. At 1, you notice there's just a hole there. That's a removable discontinuity. The limit from the left of 1 is 0. The limit from the right of 1 is 0, even though f of 1 is -3. So that's what makes it discontinuous. The limit exists, but it's not, the limit exists as we approach 1, but it's not equal to f of 1. One more problem, or one more page I should say, 2 more problems. And now, this problem, sketch a possible graph for a function that has the stated property. What if we say the limit of a function as x approaches 2 from the left is equal to the limit of the function as x approaches 2 from the right, but that does not equal f of 2? What would that function look like? Well, let's see. If this is what's happening at 2, what would that function look like at 2? Well, first, let's go to x equals 2. And what do I know? I know the limit as I approach 2 from the left equals the limit as I approach 2 from the right. So I must have some curve, and who knows what it looks like. Let's get a little creative. Let's do a really curvy, swervy thing. Equals the limit as I approach 2 from the right. Boom, they're equal. We're approaching the same value. Now, what's happening at 2 though? This limit, whatever I'm approaching, does not equal f of 2. So f of 2 equals something else. Maybe f of 2 is down here. So whatever I'm approaching, the limit exists, so there's a removable discontinuity, and the value of f of 2 would be somewhere else. Now, your graph might have different curvature. You might have just got really boring because you're not as exciting as me, and you might have drawn like a line here going both ways. That's fine too. The limit exists as you approach 2 from the left and right, but f of 2 is different, okay? So however you choose to draw it is great. It just has to have a removable discontinuity at 2 with a point elsewhere. Okay, the shape of it is unimportant. All right, so let me scroll down this thing here. Yeah, that wasn't scrolling. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm having all kinds of trouble. I'm just trying to scroll. Let me try this again here. Let me use, instead of using that thing. Yeah, it just won't work. Why? Why won't it work? Oh, I see. It appears it's not working because I'm dumb. Let's open this back up. Let me just scroll, extend the page. Here we go. Last one. Find the value of a so that the function below is continuous. Well, again, guys, I've got 2 pieces to this function. One is a line, which is going to be continuous everywhere, and the other is a parabola, which, you guessed it, is going to be continuous everywhere. Okay? It's just a parabola that's moved down a units, I guess. So now, the only place that we even have to worry about it not being continuous would be where the 2 graphs meet each other, which would be at 3. And again, I'm having trouble. Would be at 3. So it's the only place I have to worry about there being a discontinuity. So here we go. How can I see to it that the function will be continuous there? Well, if it's going to be continuous, then the limit as I approach 3 from the left, yeah, I don't know how many more times I got to do this. I chose blue 8 times and it's still not blue. Here, I'll use my eraser. It works better than crossing it out. So the limit, I know, as x approaches 3 from the left, and this is the function to the left of 3 of 5x minus 3, has to be equal to the limit as I approach 3 from the right, which would use this parabola to the right of 3, x squared minus a. How do I find limits? I substitute. Put 3 in there. 5 times 3 is 15, minus 3 would be 12. Equals, on this side I put 3 in for x, I get 9 minus a. Well, these have to be equal, so solving for a, I found out that a is -3. So if a is negative 3, that would make the limit as we approach 3 from the left equal the limit as we approach 3 from the right. Now, how do I know it would always also equal f of 3? Well, we know at 3, the function looks like this, right? This is not only what it looks like to the right of 3, also what it looks like at 3. So we already said that that also has to equal 12, so negative 3 is our answer. If we would graph this, so if I would graph 5x minus 3, it'll kind of look like this. I'll have a y-intercept at negative 3, then up 5 over 2, up 5 over 2, up 5 over 2. It'll be a line with a slope of 3, right? But I'm only graphing it to the left of 3, right? Notice it would have a point at 312. Okay? Now, x squared minus, if a is negative 3, that would say x squared plus 3. So that's a parabola that's shifted up 3 units, and then it's a parabola. But I don't want to graph the left side of it, I only want to graph it to the right of 3. So putting 3 in here, I get 12, it fills in that point, and now it has a little curvature to it though, because it's a parabola. So that's what that graph would look like, provided that a is negative 3. And boys and girls, that's it. I'm done. So we're done with 2-3. Hope you enjoyed my show. Good luck on this section.